Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it's Jaws for NES. And even though it shares the same name as the movie it's based on, it's actually based on Jaws the Revenge, the fourth film in the Jaws series that came out the same year as the game, 1987. In this game, we're moving this boat around on the ocean here. Sometimes we run into things, sometimes we don't. We have to pick up shells by destroying enemies like manta rays and jellyfish. And those shells can be used to increase our power level as well as do other things. Basically start out by just going around on the boat on the overworld screen, and every once in a while you'll hit something. Whether or not you do is totally random. And when you do hit something, you go to this screen where you go into the water and shoot these manta rays and jellyfish. Now, you're going to shoot them for points, obviously, but there are things that you want to do. By pressing A, you'll be able to shoot at enemies with a harpoon gun. And I just picked up some crabs. Those crabs increase our movement speed. There are stars you can pick up that will increase the amount of points that you have. And there are also shells that you will need to trade for items. The items we're trading for involve the transceiver, which let us find Jaws and see if Jaws is nearby. Increases for the power level, and if we make it all the way to power level 9, which is the highest you can go, you can keep on trading the shells to get strobes for the final confrontation with Jaws. You obviously move around with the control pad, and I believe that you press the A button to shoot the harpoon gun. You can have up to 3 shots on screen at any given time. And you definitely want to stay away from both the sides and the bottom of the screen. You never know when you might get hit by a jellyfish from the bottom or a manta ray from the sides. And thankfully you won't be on the screen forever, because eventually all the enemies will disappear, and then you'll be free to move around the overworld screen again. Every so often you get a bonus screen where you control this plane and press A to shoot bombs down into the ocean to kill as many jellyfish as possible. The maximum number of jellyfish that you can kill, I believe, is 25. No, wait, not 25, it's 30. My bad. If you manage to get all 30 of the jellyfish, you will get not only 15 shells, which is the most you can get from the bonus game, but you can also get 10,000 bonus points. As you can see, I didn't hit all of them. I'm not going to get the full bonus, but I did get 8 shells, and that's alright. Now, so far I've been in deep water. If I'm near a landmass, I will be in shallow water instead, and in case I hit something near a landmass, I'll be in shallow water instead of deep water, where you have far less room to maneuver, and I nearly died there. Everything is one-hit kill. You run into a jellyfish or a manta ray, you're going to take a hit. And when you take a hit, you're obviously going to die. If you die, you lose all the movement speed increases that you got from the crabs. You lose a power level, you lose some shells, and you also lose a transceiver, which we just got for going from the west dock to the east dock. Now it's time to head back to the west dock, hopefully without hitting anything, and we can increase our power level from 1 to 2. It took 5 shells to get a transceiver, and it took 3 more shells to go up to power level 2. The faster the transceiver beeps, the closer we are to Jaws. Keep that in mind. And thankfully we made it back to the east dock without incident. For 5 shells, we are able to go up to power level 3. The higher your power level, the more likely you are to do more damage to Jaws with less harpoons. Also, we were pretty close to Jaws when we hit something. Jaws is going to show up soon enough because he was so close to us. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm doing all of this in post-commentary. So my memory of this playthrough may be a little fuzzy, even though I did this playthrough a little earlier in the day. And he would have appeared by now, so no, he doesn't show up. We do get this baby shark, though, that I forgot to mention earlier. We've already saw the baby shark at least once already. Takes quite a few hits from the harpoon gun to kill, but the baby sharks always leave a shell behind when they die. So it's always good to kill it when you get the chance. We are now at power level 4, and the higher you get your power level, the more interesting these little gameplay segments where you're in the water and you shoot at stuff gets. For instance, you'll be seeing a lot of jellyfish at one point, like we just did here. The enemies that we fight will move a little bit faster. The jellyfish in particular will move to the side as they move up, and it's always going to be erratic. Sometimes they'll move left, sometimes they'll move right. They can change direction as they go up, so they can go to one side or the other every time they stop temporarily, which can be kind of a pain to deal with. And here is another bonus scene. There are a few bonus scenes in the game. You're always shooting jellyfish in them, but the jellyfish will have different patterns to memorize. And it's up to you to memorize these movement patterns so you can do what you need to do. Holding back on the control pad lets you slow down, and holding forward on the control pad lets you speed up. And of course, the directions that let you speed up and slow down always depends on which direction the plane is facing. So if you're facing to the right, right will obviously make you speed up, and left will always make you slow down. And if the plane is facing the left, just reverse those two, and there you go. Doing pretty well on shells so far. And what is that? That's the submarine. That allows us to get an extra hit, and I definitely want to pick it up. Now, we could definitely see Jaws that time, so he's definitely going to show up. Jaws actually has a health bar in the lower right-hand corner there. And the more damage you do to Jaws, the more it's going to whittle down. This little submarine that we're using actually moves around a little faster than the little guy that we usually move around, and it shoots missiles instead of the harpoons from the harpoon gun. And because of that, the sub's a little better in terms of weaponry and speed. You move even faster in the sub than you do with just the diver alone. And since I'm at power level 4, I'm going to be doing a lot of damage to the shark compared to when I was at levels 1, 2, even 3. If I'm quick enough, I should be able to destroy Jaws on level 4, but I wasn't here. Still, I did come fairly close. And if you don't kill Jaws in time, you'll get kicked back to the overworld screen. And Jaws will get back a little bit of power, but not too much. So we'll still have a little bit of our work cut out for us, but not by much. I whittled him down to about 2 units, but he went up to 6 there because I didn't kill him off in time. We are now at power level 5, in exchange for 5 more shells. Oh, and if you get hit while you're in the sub, you go back to being a little diver guy. You'll have to get the sub back again somehow if you want to use the sub again. And we're definitely gonna get hit here. I know that for a fact. You definitely want to be careful in shallow water. You don't want to hang out at the bottom for too long. You definitely don't want to hang out at the sides for too long either, like I said earlier in the video, because again, that happens. I did not expect that jellyfish to hit me. Thankfully, I played a little more conservatively. And I managed to survive here. And I need more conch shells if I want to go to level 6. and I run straight into Jaws. Now, you actually get to start out on the boat during the Jaws battles if you run straight into him. B lets you shoot bombs to the left, and A lets you shoot bombs to the right. Making sure I got my directions correctly there. You can only have 3 bombs while you're on the boat at any given time, and if you shoot those 3 bombs, you'll have to wait for them to disappear past the bottom of the screen if you want to shoot more. Now, I do so well here, but then I make the stupid mistake of running into Jaws. Again, if you die, not only does Jaws' power go straight to full, I forgot to mention that, but you lose a power level, you lose some shells, you lose a transceiver, and you also lose any of the movement upgrades, any of the speed upgrades for your movement that you got from the crabs. You'll have to pick up the crabs again, and I believe you can pick up the 3 to go as fast as you possibly can. And thankfully I managed to do just that while I'm here, and I try to stay a good distance away while I'm shooting at Jaws here, so I don't make this any harder for myself than it already is. I thankfully learned my lesson a little bit this time. Definitely don't want to be shooting the harpoon gun repeatedly while Jaws is off the screen for a bit instant, because when you're doing that as fast as I am, that tends to hurt your thumb. And it actually gave me a slight pain in my hand from doing that, but thankfully I was able to put up with it, especially with the frequent half-second breaks between Jaws changing direction there. And thankfully, I was able to bring Jaws all the way down to 0 health. I just had to evade him a little bit first. And now here is the final screen. You want to get Jaws to the bottom blue line, the bottom dark bar. I can't speak English to save my life today. You want to get Jaws to the bottommost dark blue line. And you want him to be right in front of you. When that happens, you want to press B to shoot the strobe and cause Jaws to come out. The instant he comes out, you better be ready to stab him with the front of the boat with the A button. This is pretty much how Jaws met his demise in the 4th movie. And of course, Jaws will move away from you, as he's ought to do. So trying to get him lined up with you, it can be kind of a pain in the butt. But remember, this segment is not timed. You have all the time in the world to do this. Take your time. Don't get too frustrated. And you can do that. If you run out of strobes and you fail to kill off Jaws, you'll have to fight Jaws again. But thankfully, you'll be able to buy the more power levels in case you need to. So you can keep on farming for shells. And eventually, once you make it to power level 9, you'll be able to buy more strobes if you need them. And if you know what you're doing, you'll eventually figure out how to do it and kill off Jaws. Once you beat Jaws, Jaws sinks to the bottom of the sea. That's it. You've beaten Jaws for NES. Very short game, especially if you have a good idea of what you're doing and how to do it. Otherwise, you'll be spending quite a few minutes with this one. You'll be spending quite a bit of time with this game. Graphics are okay, so is the music and sound. Play control is alright. This isn't really a bad LJN game. Yes, I know LJN was involved in this. So was Acclaim. There are worse games out there than this one. This one's actually tolerable compared to some of the worst games out there for the system. So, knowing what I told you, you might want to give this a shot. To which I say go ahead. I totally recommend the game if you want a very quick diversion. I managed to beat this game in 15 minutes, and with practice, so can you. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!